Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Peige Podcast. Your host, Braden Figueroa and Chad Nutter. Chad, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me on my own show.
We just have an incredible episode planned for you all today. I'm excited, and we are going to actually start off this episode by calling in a guest for some questions.
Who are we calling?
We are
today?
calling Coby. He is from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He's
all the way from Philadelphia.
Freelance photographer and videographer, and he's a part of the Peige Pod community. We're going to call him in right now.
Are these peaking? The level's good. I think mine's like just really low. Yeah, 100%. Wait, you got to look at that. I can't see it. You got to adjust it while I talk. Is it good? Ladies and gentlemen, test. That's great.
We're ringing in Coby right now.
Coby. Ring. We need like an actual. There it is.
Coby joined. What's going on? I can't see you. Yo, what's good? Oh, he's got a mask on.
Masked up.
What's good? You're on the Peige Podcast. How are you doing? You got some questions? Okay, we're ready. We're ready to hear them. I'm gonna turn up your audio. All right, we're ready. Ask away.
All right. So my first question is more on like the financial side of your guys' business.
Okay.
When you receive money, you don't have to go into like super detail. Just like a little overview. When you receive money for a project, right? How do you go about budgeting that money? In terms of like if you need to rent equipment. Travel expenses, all of that. Like, what is like your main idea when you budget?
I love that. Okay, I can start off, and then you can bounce in, Nutter. So what we do specifically is 20% of that immediately needs to be budgeted for taxes the end of the year, right? So let's pretend it's 10 grand. Let's do a little mathematics here. 10% of 10 grand would be $2,000. So we immediately know, okay, 2 grand of that has to be for taxes at the end of the year. So that needs to be separated into either a separate account or withheld, however you're going to want to do that. Especially like if you're just dealing with really small amounts of cash and someone's just handing it to you, that's different, but we're going to pretend.
10% of 10 grand. 20% of 10 grand.
2 grand,
yeah
20%. So then, say we need to rent a camera, right? Say we need to rent an FS7 and it is $500, whatever. Say our gear rental is $500. That is going to go into the budget. So if they ask me and they say, "Oh, how much is it going to be for, for this shoot day?" and we're gonna toss around some numbers. Say just to get us out there, day rate $2 grand, right? And I go, okay, cool. I know that I'm going to need an assistant, and he costs $200, so that goes into that. Say I'm going to need a person. Say I need an art director. They cost $500. That goes into that. And then the gear in total, every single piece of equipment is accounted for, and they are being charged the rental fee of that piece of equipment. Any lens, the lens, $55, whatever it is to rent it that day. So all of that stuff is going to go into that final budget. So say it's like out the door, and then we'll give them a final budget with everything on a sheet, and it's going to have a list of every single thing that we are going to be doing, and it'll be, say, pretend $4 grand for one shoot day, and your final product is a 1-minute edit and then 15-second social cuts or whatever it's going to be. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, no, I think Braden pretty much covered it, but it's important to keep in mind, like, if you're giving a budget to a client, some people might think if you're giving a client like a 10 grand budget, then you're actually taking like home 10 grand, when in reality that's not the case.
Yeah,
exactly. You have to account for all your expenses. Say you're charging 10 grand, but maybe your expenses are actually like 6 or 7 grand, so you're only taking home like 3 or 4 grand at the end of the day. You just have to account for all your expenses and then make sure that you're making money on top of it.
Yeah, and like one time we had done a project like a long time ago and didn't account for how much money we were going to have to pay a motion graphics designer, right? And so then that came out of what we were supposed to make. We had to fork up whatever that was going to cost, and then we didn't even end up actually using the fucking motion graphics. So that was really sick, and we just basically should have just lit money on fire, and then we would have been better off. So there's that. That can happen. But you just want to make sure that And it can be a really simple spreadsheet. It just has to say exactly everything that's covered. You don't want to just put 10 grand on a piece of paper and say this is what it's going to cost, because people want to see exactly what shit's going towards.
Gotcha.
You feel?
Wow, I love that.
Yeah.
All right, that's something that personally I was struggling with, so it was good to have some insight onto what you guys do. I really appreciate that.
Amazing.
I have one more question for you guys.
Let's
Okay.
hear it.
If you, like, your dream, what is your, like, dream company brand that you want to work with at some point?
Ooh,
Holy shit.
that is a
Put you on the spot.
fucking dagger of a question. Okay. Okay. You
Hey, you
wanna...
never know. Maybe they're listening.
No, yeah, no, I agree. Okay. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
No, I don't want to go first.
I can take it. Okay. I can talk about this. Eventually, one day, something that Chad and I have talked about is I would like to create a brand in the next few years. I don't know what specifically it's going to look like yet, but I think personally the biggest goal of mine is to create really incredible content based around something that we're the most passionate about. And I think for me, that would personally be like creative directing my own brand and knowing, okay, like what's this shoot going to look like? But the incredible part about it is I think I split my mind into like half business, half creative. I'm not just like fully thinking about creative stuff all the time. So I think that would be a really big moment for me, being able to creative direct and create the content, oversee it, and probably just direct. I don't think I'd want to shoot it at all. I probably just want to edit it because I like editing more than I like shooting. So that would be mine personally.
Yeah. Kind of to bounce off of what Braden said, I know you asked what our goal brand would be to work with, but more so than having a goal of working with a brand, the goal would more so be to build our own brand and be creating content for either that brand or for ourselves, and having the freedom to do what we want instead of just having that goal of working for that specific brand.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that goes along with too. I would love just a few brands I can think of that I really like off the top of my head. I love Rag & Bone. I think they're a really cool brand based out of New York. And I think that they have a very cool... Oh, Fear of God. I love Fear of God. I can't afford it, but it's a really sick brand. And I would
afford the essentials.
I can afford essentials, and that's I draw the line at $100. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to spend $800 on a pair of pants. But I think Fear of God is really cool, and I think they do a great job of rolling out their content. So I would like to work with a brand like Fear of God, but like Chad said, I think in the future I would solely love to create content for my personal, or like our personal brand, being Peige as a whole, like Peige Vlogs, Peige Podcasts and whatnot, and then have a physical brand that is clothing in some way, and then maybe taking on one-offs every month that from really cool brands that I actually loved. You know what I mean?
Monster would be a sick one.
Oh, Monster would be a really cool brand. Yeah, cheers. Shout out to Monster.
Monster would be a good brand.
Yeah, something like that. That'd be cool. So you're from Philly, right? Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Let's go. How long have you been doing video or photo or both?
I've been doing photography for like 3.5 years, but I've recently, like just over quarantine, really, I just started going out and shooting a lot more. And then like around that same time, I started getting into more like the business. Like before that, I wasn't charging anything. But yeah, since then, I've been getting some decent clients like locally. And it's going pretty good. You guys, Paz, helped me out a lot as far as like both creative and mostly like business side. So I really appreciate that. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, dude, I love that. Is there anything else that we can maybe answer or help you with before you get out of here? Anything that you're struggling with right now? And literally anything. Fuck, life, whatever, man. Anything that we could possibly help you with, I'm down. I'd love to help you out.
I mean, I appreciate that, but I think I'm good.
You good? I love it, dude.
Amazing.
I love it. Yeah, well, we appreciate you coming on the Peige Pod. Coby is from Philadelphia, like he said, videographer and photographer. We appreciate you supporting the Peige Pod fam. And yeah, we will catch up with you another time, brother. We appreciate you being on the pod.
How's Philly? Is it cold? Is it cold over there?
What's up?
Is it cold over there?
It's not too bad. There's been a couple of days where it's gotten a little bit chilly, but
Not snowing yet?
yeah, not a big fan of the cold. But
No, us either.
You got to cruise out here for a weekend, get some sun in your life.
that's a dream of mine.
It'll
happen soon.
it'll happen 100%. You just got to keep fucking pushing, man. You got this.
For sure.
All right, brother. You have a good rest of your day.
You too. Take care.
Peace.
Peace out, man.
That was incredible. Shout out Coby for popping.
Shout out Coby.
Coby for popping on the pod, asking a few great questions.
Shout out Coby for coming on. Great questions. Hopefully that gave some insight into the listeners as well. Maybe somebody else had those same questions.
If you want to be featured,
Yep.
How do you get featured on the Peige Podcast? Let them know.
Very simple.
Very simple.
Open that Instagram app, DM either myself, Chad Nutter, or B Figgy, and say, hey, I want to come on the podcast.
Also must leave a review.
Yeah, that's very important.
I need a screenshot of that review for reference. And if you don't have Apple Podcasts and you're like, Braden, I only have Spotify, totally fine. I want you to DM me a little review and I will write it for you. We can pad some stats. I don't know if you're allowed to do that, but I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
I've
never tried to leave a review.
I don't know. I've padded one. You guys want to hear mine? My name, if you look on there, it's Nighthawk. Because I wanted it to be a little bit mysterious so people wouldn't know it was me leaving my own review. But I said, Jam, just incredible episodes. But I left that review.
So maybe we should just leave like a bunch of just
That's what I'm
5-star
thinking.
reviews.
That's what I'm about to do. But yeah, if you guys see Nighthawk's review,
Interesting.
that was my own review.
But yeah, so I woke up this morning and outside my house, our neighbor is just getting a brand new roof. So I woke up to, well, first of all, my window to my room was open.
That's sick.
In the morning because it was a little bit hot during the night. So I opened the window and so 7 a.m. on the dot, there's this massive truck. And like when they have the trucks backing up, they have like the reverse noise.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were reversing and they had like the beeping, like beep, beep, beep. And they were reversing into this driveway for, I'm not kidding, probably 20 minutes.
They couldn't figure it out.
So this sound was just going off for probably 20 minutes. And then I finally got up and closed my window. I went back to sleep for like an hour. And I woke up at like probably 8. And then they start just hammering away at this roof. And at this point, my window is closed, but it just sounds like they are right on top of me hammering away.
Did you move to the living room?
Well, then at that point, I was just up, so I just gave up on trying to sleep some more. So now I was just up and got ready for the day. But then they took a little break, and now they are back, not hammering as frequently as they were this morning, but every now and then we will have a few hard-hitting hammers. So if you hear some hammers or some like chainsaws going on in the background,
we're sorry.
We are doing a podcast live from a construction site, so bear with us.
Content is all that matters, though.
Exactly.
Party shirts. Oh, my God. We have some sick shirts. Chad's rocking a black and purple little palm tree thing. And
Is it purple?
I think it looks a little purple to me. Magenta, maybe. And I have on, showing a lot of chest, and I got on this Hawaiian, a lot of flowers going on. It looks great. We really are crushing the party shirt game. So if you get bored, you should download the podcast on Apple Music or Spotify or both, and then go watch it on YouTube so you can get the full experience. But don't just watch it on YouTube.
No.
We got to have these numbers. We don't want rookie numbers. We want big dog numbers.
No, download the podcast.
Yeah.
I don't care if you listen to it on the podcast app, but just download it.
Yep.
So we can have that download.
Yep.
And then go over to YouTube and
leave a fucking review.
You leave a review on
For
YouTube.
the love of God. No. Leave a review on the podcast app.
Well, first, okay. Well, you can't make them go to the podcast app, download, then go to YouTube, watch, and then go back to the podcast app.
I didn't mean to confuse people.
So just to make your lives easier, just go ahead and go to the podcast app, download it, maybe leave a good review, and then you can actually go to YouTube and watch and check out these party shirts that we're wearing.
Project X
is getting pretty close to almost done.
Are you excited? I have dark circles under my eyes.
So we are we've finished filming probably like 90%.
I'd say, yeah, a solid 90% of it. And I'm really excited with how it's looking. It's looking great.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible. So we are almost going to hop into the editing process. And
that'll go fast, though. Much faster.
Much faster than filming.
Filming is just got to do my makeup and shit. You guys know how that goes.
And, yeah, then once the editing process is wrapped up, it's just pretty much ready to go.
We're
just about
so excited, though. I know for a damn fact there's going to be some dope shit that people are going to like. But you might be sitting on a fucking gold mine.
Oh, my God.
Tell the people,
last episode we talked
about
on. Logan Paul and his Pokemon cards and how he dropped, 200K on Pokemon cards?
200 racks.
Yeah, so he spent 200 racks on Pokemon cards. And while we were talking about that in the last episode, I just completely remembered that I have a closet full of thousands of baseball cards. And yesterday, I decided to... And then actually after the episode, I just completely forgot about it again and just... randomly yesterday morning, I'm like, oh shit, I forgot I have those baseball cards in my closet. Why don't I just break them out? And I thought I had like maybe a few hundred.
How many did you have? Tell the people.
I go into my closet just deep down in there and just binders and boxes full of baseball cards. There's thousands.
How many, like realistically, like what do you think? Like 4K? 3 or 4,000?
Yeah,
I think
probably
so too.
a few thousand.
Yeah,
sure. Just thousands of baseball cards, and
you looked a few up. You happened to look a few up. What did you stumble across?
Yeah, so I still am like, I need to do some more research on like the whole baseball card game and what makes each card worth so much. But so that's a great photo right there, just incredible. I. Like the first binder that I open, I turn the page and I find this Ken Griffey Jr. card.
Rookie card.
No.
Maybe.
No, I don't think it was a rookie card. It's 1991.
Okay.
I don't know if... I don't think it was rookie. Maybe it is.
Okay.
But literally the first binder open, I flip the page. First card I really see is this Ken Griffey Jr. card by Topps 40, 1991 Ken Griffey Jr. when he was on the Mariners.
What's it going for on eBay?
And so I'm like, oh, I know Ken Griffey Jr. Like, I know that name. I know he's a pretty famous player. Let me just look it up and see what it's going for. So then I go on eBay, and there's this card valued at $8,600 on eBay.
Holy shit.
Just insane.
You could...
But so then I'm like doing some more research, and like some of these cards are going for like $100. The same card. Some of these cards are going for like $100. Some are going... I saw the same card upwards of like 20 grand on one listing.
Wow.
So there's one from like $100 to like 20 grand, all for the same card. So I need to figure out like what makes this card worth like that 20 grand.
Yeah, you do, big time. And you also found what is it, Cal Ripken?
Yeah. So what else did I find?
Chipper Jones.
I found a Chipper Jones card.
What was that 40, one going for?
And this one was going for like 6 grand. But also it's like the same thing. Like some are like 6 grand, some are like $100. So
okay. But regardless, these few cards.
And then a Nolan Ryan card that was like going for the top listing was like 3 grand.
Wow.
And then I found some Pokemon cards.
And your Pokemon cards as a collective
unit? As a collective, probably a couple grand worth of Pokemon cards.
So you're rich.
Well, I don't know. So there's these, like I said, there's some like the same cards. Literally the same card could be worth a few grand, and then another listing could be like $100. Or even less. So
you're gonna go to the guy that has the card shop, and you're gonna talk to him and say you're gonna have some little.
I could maybe just have like 50 grand worth of cards that were just sitting in my closet, or I could have like $50.
No, I think you at least have a few grand. To be honest, like no matter what, I think you 100% have at least $2,000 to $3,000 worth of cards.
Yeah, no,
I think so.
Yeah, at least like a couple thousand.
And I think on the high side, you might, if you're lucky, get like. You could, I think, maybe get out of there with $20,000. I think personally.
Yeah.
I think if on the high side, if you came out with $20,000, I would be. If you came out with $1,000, I'd be happy. Those are just sitting in your room.
Yeah, no, there's definitely like at least $1,000 worth of cards in there. But I mean,
we're flipping.
looking at these
I think,
listings. I mean, it could be upwards of like 20 grand. So I don't know. We'll see. I got to do some more research.
I got to do excavating and find mine. So if you played baseball growing up or you're a sports person or you had Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon cards, go find those things and see what they're worth on eBay.
Yeah, so
you
I
might
let some baseball friends know that they need to go through their baseball
We
cards
should start
and-
doing this roulette game where we just DM people that we knew that played baseball growing up and say $200 for every card that you have, and just
No, yeah,
quick
that's,
cash.
Yeah,
quick
yeah,
cash.
that's not a bad idea.
Quick cash. Be like, hey, I'll Venmo you 2 bills right now, but I want every binder that you own. Don't go through them. I'd be willing to do that. You definitely get your money back.
No, 100%. I might actually just.
Well, I kind of want in on the stuff. You know.
Well, I played baseball, so I have a lot of friends that play baseball as well through like high school and little league and stuff.
I'm willing
and
to go.
Sure,
I'm willing
sure
to go in on it with
most
you.
of those friends have a good amount of baseball cards.
I feel like we could be partners on this.
Yeah, I think we should just might throw some money blind into some baseball cards, but they have to be
They have to be in good condition.
Yeah, so they have to be in good condition.
They need to be in the little sleeve things.
They need to be in good condition. That's like one of the main things.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously they have to be like the better players are worth more. And then
like even basketball. Like if you could go get a Ja Morant rookie card right now or Luka Doncic rookie card, these are gonna be worth
also
some cash.
too, like I was talking to someone at the gym yesterday who I knew played baseball, but he's a few years younger than me. And so the cards that he has are going to skew newer than my cards because he was getting cards
4 years after you, correct?
after I was. So if I could find people who had cards like even before I did, that would just be I saw this one card. I forget exactly what card it was. It was like a Willie Mays card or something like that. I looked up like the most valuable card ever sold in history, and it was like $3 million for this baseball
Holy
card.
fuck.
Insane.
Nuts.
One baseball card.
I mean, we might, so Peige Pod listeners, go out, look in your closets, ask your mom or dad, find those old cards from when you were a kid, and see if you're sitting on a gold mine.
Justin Bieber came out with some Crocs.
I just think these are absolutely hideous. I am not a fan of Crocs. Peige Pod listeners, if you're a fan of Crocs, I just want to ask you why. That's it. I just want to ask you why.
None of our listeners wear Crocs.
I hope not. I just don't think they look sick. I barely think Birkenstocks are okay to wear.
That's really pushing it.
And I bought a pair because I was like, you know what? Let me see if these were the hype. And they are really comfortable. They're kind of like a rainbow sandal though, so like they get better as you wear them more. So now mine are very comfy to wear, but I still think they look ugly. I think it's like a known thing. Like I know they look ugly, but I think I pull them off.
No, they definitely look ugly, but it's just like wearing like Skechers or something. You're not wearing them to look sick. It's like for comfort.
Okay.
All right. But yeah, so Justin Bieber has his own Crocs. I guess it's a thing because Post Malone had his own Crocs too.
Dude, I just don't think they look sick. Can someone please DM me and let me know like what the deal is with the Crocs? I tried them on. They're like meh. I don't know.
Where'd you try them on?
Someone had some like a while ago. I remember.
Not the Justin Bieber ones.
No. Someone random like just let me try on their Crocs, and I was like, wow, these are just as ugly as I thought they were.
They're not as these. If you wear these are like way worse than the Crocs. I don't know what brand makes these, but the toe shoes, like they're like wearing gloves.
I know what you're talking about.
They're like wearing gloves for your feet.
Also hideous.
Might be the worst shoes I've ever seen.
I mean,
those are worse.
On the topic of shoes, so Slack, the company
another
Slack,
ugly pair of shoes.
Just awful. They had a collaboration with Cole Haan, and Cole Haan is just incredible. I don't know what the fuck Cole Haan was thinking. They did a combination with Slack, a little collab, and these also just look hideous. Big miss in my opinion. Huge miss by Slack and by Cole Haan.
Yeah, I haven't.
Slack needs to stick to the direct messaging.
What is Slack thinking?
Slack is a direct
trying
messaging
to come out
app.
with their own shoes.
I don't know.
Slack has nothing to do with fashion.
I agree.
They are a communication app for the workplace.
Do you like Slack? I kind of like it.
I've used Slack and it's not that sick. I would much rather you just text me, or if your workplace is using a Google, you can just send a quick ping on Gmail.
There you go.
But yeah, Slack's just not that sick in my opinion. But yeah, no idea what they're doing coming out with shoes. So there's an election coming up. I don't know if you've heard about it, but
I've heard a
next
little bit
month
about it.
There's a big election here here in America.
What do we got?
Some of our listeners who are out of the country might not be following it as closely, but it's a big presidential election coming up next month, and a lot of people are pushing the importance of voting,
which is good. That's great.
And some people are even pushing who you should go.
I think it's kind of
vote for.
It's kind of weird in my opinion, but whatever.
So one of those persons,
Tana Mojo.
This is unreal.
Wait, yeah, let's talk about what she did and the amount of trouble that she potentially is in. This is kind of crazy.
Yeah, so
she has an OnlyFans.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how she set this up.
I'm pretty sure it's her OnlyFans. Almost positive.
She does have an OnlyFans, so it was probably through the OnlyFans. But she where did she post it? On her Instagram somewhere.
I'm almost positive it was posted on OnlyFans, and then you can bounce off this. I think she posted a video of herself saying, "If you show me your ballot and you voted for Biden, I will personally send you a nude."
Got it.
That's what I'm pretty sure happened. And I could be, I'm not wrong on that.
Well, it was something like that. Whether it was on OnlyFans,
it was a nude. It was a nude. Whatever.
She came out to her whatever platform it was on to her followers,
massive
and
audience,
said, "Yeah, if you show me proof that you vote for Joe Biden, then I will send you a nude photograph." And it was like 10,000 people.
10,000 people in a very short amount of time sent her their ballots, and she just sent off a lot of nudes, and I guess this is illegal. This is very illegal to do.
Yeah, so I think it can be like some sort of voter fraud or like paying for someone's vote. I don't know the exact legalities behind the issue.
Punishable up to 2 years in jail.
2 years in prison.
Now Tana's not going to go to jail. I don't think.
She could. Maybe. We'll see.
I don't think they let. I think she'd figure out a way to get out of this.
She has that OnlyFans money, so she can just pay her bail.
Yeah, so there's that. That's not good. And Tana has since stopped sending out nudes for Joe Biden votes. But on the bright side, we got a positive on the voting side. David Dobrik.
Yeah, so David, instead of sending nudes and asking people to vote for a specific person, he just said, "I'm going to give out Teslas to and pretty much anybody who shows proof that they went and registered to vote."
Which is sick.
It's great.
Good for David. Getting people to vote, getting young people to vote.
There was a stat, I think, on Forbes.
Okay.
I saved it on my Instagram, and they said that David, by doing this, he became... Okay, here's the
You're having some trouble finding. There we go.
David Dobrik's Tesla giveaway was probably one of... All right, well, I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to give my opinion on this headline.
Okay, go.
David Dobrik's Tesla giveaway was probably one of the largest U.S. voter registration drives ever by Forbes.
That's a terrible headline in my opinion.
Yeah, I didn't realize how bad this headline was. This headline is awful. David Dobrik's Tesla giveaway was probably...
Like, what is that?
Probably one of the largest U.S.
probably?
Yeah, so how do you even make an article and put probably in the headline? That's just unbelievable.
But to read the top, David tweeted it and said,
I can't get over that they put probably in the headline. That's just like, oh yeah, that's just like the CDC coming out with, yeah, Corona just like probably is like a bad thing. We should probably
this is Forbes. They probably shouldn't say probably.
That's just unbelievable. Anyways, yeah, David quote tweeted and said, "We got over 120,000 people to register to vote."
That's great. Good for David. Let's go.
Regardless of that shitty headline, David got over 120,000 people to vote.
I love it. Young
which
people
is incredible,
getting out to vote.
And David has a lot of younger fans, and a lot of people tend to not normally vote. So that's great. Incredible.
Now, David also this week came out with a really cool little product, David's Perfume. Don't love the name, personally. I don't think the name's great.
Awful.
But the way he rolled out was pretty sick. He got Charlotte Delicio. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her last name right. She is a model, and they're friends to be in a little video. And it looked like they were a couple. Got a lot of people talking on social media because he doesn't have a girlfriend and is like this single guy. And it looked like they were dating, and it was pretty hot. I was pretty into it. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, holy shit.
Just to touch on the David,
the voting,
David dating thing. I don't know what's wrong with this guy.
For not like dating Madison Beer.
Yeah, I mean, even my dog was like completely disagrees with that. I don't know what has to be going on in your mind to just reject Madison Beer.
I don't know either.
That's just insane to me.
He just didn't want to date her. I don't know what to tell you, man. But
Maybe she has. I mean, I never met her, so I can't judge. Maybe she just has an awful personality.
I feel like she's probably just a normal, nice girl.
Yeah, from what I've seen, she looks like a great girl. But maybe we don't know. Maybe she just.
David rolls out this sick video, and it's like a Super 8 film vibe. Really sick, really cool little edit, and it's basically just portraying this like fun, carefree little fun lifestyle, and it crushed. And then they did this whole little rollout where he went and sent it to his friends, and the way they did that was he had like these guys in suits, and then his assistant Natalie like handed over this briefcase with the cologne in it. So they spent some cash on this little rollout.
Speaking of suits, suit guy's girlfriend or ex-girlfriend, Sophia Franklin
From Call Her Daddy podcast.
from ex Call Her Daddy host.
She's coming back.
She is making a comeback to the podcast world. Apparently, she posted on Instagram today that. Oh, let me read her caption.
It was
Sophia Franklin
yeah, hit it.
posted 6 hours ago that she says her caption is, "I'm back. Link in bio. Subscribe, sleuts."
Do you think that's code for
And-
sluts?
No.
I
Why
don't
would
think
you
so.
think
I
that?
don't know either.
Why would you think
that was fucked up. of me.
That's really fucked.
Yeah.
That's unreal. But anyways, so she's releasing a podcast called Sophia with an F. Interesting name. Not sure if I'm the biggest fan.
You think it
But
does
she looks
well?
she looks great in the post that she made there, and I don't know, I might check it out.
Got 75,000 likes on that. I might listen to it on my drive home later this evening. We'll see. I don't know. I think that she kind of fell off the face of the earth, and I don't know if it's personal.
Should we look at the comments?
Comments are brutal, dude. The comments say no one gives a shit if you're
Oh my
back.
god!
Read
this,
a few.
This
Read a
top
few.
comment
Read three. Read like
top
three,
comment.
and we're gonna move on. Read three.
has 8,500 likes, but who's gonna do the editing? Because apparently
Ooh.
Alex Cooper in the previous podcast relationship
Burn.
did all of the editing.
Nice.
So yeah, that's a good little burn there. And then this next comment is, so it's Fofia.
Oh, because it said Sophia with an F. I get it.
Yeah,
So Fofia, I don't really think
that's that funny.
Yeah, I don't think that one's super funny either.
I don't know how it's the second liked comment.
I don't either. What else?
If you're not spilling the tea in episode 1, I'm not listening. No, I agree. That's great. She has to spill the tea, 100%. And then, well, let's do one more. Nobody asked for or wanted this.
Okay, that's great. So sounds like everything's going well.
And then, so that has 3,900 likes, that comment. And then a reply to that comment has 3,300 likes, says false. I've been waiting for this. By the Peige Daddy Issues said that. Apparently they're verified. They have a blue check mark. So yeah, it looks like some controversial stuff happening in those comments there, but
There's a shit ton of stuff going on, as you guys now heard. Now you're all caught up on everything that is going on in the world. But we have some important shit that we need to talk about today for the creatives that listen to this podcast, because that is why we're here. We're here to build this incredible community out. We're hyped from the growth that our little Peige Podcast fam has had in these past few months. Reviews and downloads are just absolutely through the roof. But we have some important shit to talk about. Chad, give me number one. What do we got today? Hit me.
number one topic from our meat and potatoes of this episode is covering how exactly to go about turning your passion into some profit, because obviously it would be best case scenario if you were able to make some money and make a living doing something that you are passionate about, rather than hating the job that you do every single day. So how do we go about doing that?
Well, I think let's do this. Let's do this to make it easy on ourselves. Let's separate them into two separate things. What we're good at, that's our creative thing, and then let's separate it into the business side, because I feel like most creatives only do want they only do the creative stuff, and then they feel stuck.
That
They're
would
like,
be why.
that would be why they're
They're
creatives.
called creatives.
Yeah, that would be why they're creatives. But we have to think about this more as a business too, because this is going to hopefully fund your lifestyle, and you know specifically what you need to make in a month to cover your bills, your necessities, your essentials to live, and then you want to. Charlie agrees as well. The dog agrees, and then our fun stuff, to live a little bit on the outside, to not just have to go paycheck to paycheck and eat, because I'm gonna kill the fucking dog. I'm gonna kill the dog if he keeps barking. But that is what we're gonna have to cover today.
Yeah. So, just to kind of preface this whole conversation, I think the most important question to first ask yourself is, how much money do you want to make? Because for some people, they might just want to they might be the happiest person in the world if they make like 80 grand.
Okay.
And then other people might want to make like millions. But you ask yourself how much you want to make, and how much money do you need to fund the lifestyle that you want? Because if maybe you only need like 50 grand to fund your lifestyle, and you are completely happy with that 50 grand, and living with that 50 grand, you're able to do the things that you want to do. And then maybe you want to go and charter a yacht every weekend, and you need to make millions of dollars that year, and that yacht is the thing that makes you super happy. Then you're going to need a lot more than that 50 grand.
Chad, I have a question for you.
I have an answer.
Do you think that I think this personally, but I want to hear your opinion. Now, I think that creatives specifically, like we've said in other episodes, they compare themselves to others. They go, wow, like these guys are absolutely crushing it, and I think that you really, really cannot look at what everyone else is doing, specifically on Instagram, because we're creatives and we post shit all the time, because there is always going to be someone that has a sicker camera. There's always going to be someone that is making more money. Literally, there is always going to be someone that is making more money than you. So you really have to you have to have that self-awareness and say, okay, like, what do I need specifically to make my ends meet, and what do I need to be happy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that is a huge step in figuring out how to turn that passion into profit.
Yeah. I'm going to bounce off of that, but before I do, we should stop recording and start again, because the Sony camera is about to stop recording at the 30-minute mark. We are back. Just to bounce off of what Braden was saying, I forget the exact stat, but I was listening to this on a podcast, and the stat was something along the lines of the happiness, if you're looking at a graph, and the graph goes left to right, to increasing in salary.
Mm-hmm.
So you get from 0 to say 80 grand. Obviously the salary is going up, and at the same time happiness in those people is going up as well. But then once you hit that 80 grand mark, then the happiness starts to plateau, and then eventually even decline back downwards, because I don't know if it was exactly 80 grand, but it was around that number.
Yeah, no,
like
I've seen
80,
that.
90
I think
grand.
it was 85 or something, right in that
mark.
range.
But that is because once you are in, this isn't for everyone, but this is for a lot of people, once you get into that 6-figure mark and above, it takes a lot more time and energy to actually make that 6 figures and above. So for some people, that might not even be worth it. You just have to, it's going to be different for everyone, but you have to find that happy medium where you are making enough money to fund the lifestyle that you want, and you are the happiest you could possibly be at the same time.
And I also think on the passion into profit, right, this is going to require some work. Specifically, if you are a creative, you're going to have to work, and especially like on the entrepreneur side, right? On the entrepreneur side, or if you're going to go work for a company, you have to have skills, right? Developed skills that is not just one, in my opinion. This is not just video, because anyone and their fucking mother can go out and make a hype video, right? I'll compare this to sports video. It'll make it easy for us to understand this analogy.
I don't know if my mom can make a hype video.
No, yeah, we'll table it. In the sports video world, right? Any video person can make a hype video, right? But if we have a sample of, say, 1,000 kids that are all trying to get the same job, say as an Oregon videographer, what is going to separate you from those 1,000 kids? So you're deep in one thing, you're really deep in video, but I need you also to be proficient in photo. I need you to be proficient in Photoshop. What are you going to bring to the table? And then I think we can start to develop the rest of those skills, right? So
say the word. I know you want to say the word.
Pareto optimal employee. It's a great word. But that is a T-shaped employee that is dispersed in many things and really deep in one thing. Said that a lot on the podcast. That's a great term.
Pareto
optimal employee, turning that passion into profit. And I think once we analyze our skills and we say, okay, what am I interested in? What can I also do well? What do I like doing well? And then expand on those skills and also be the best at that one thing. You should be striving to be the best.
Yeah.
If you're not attempting to be the best, I don't know. We have different, you should listen to another podcast. But I think that the Peige Pod listeners, I know for a fact you guys are all pursuing greatness and you want to be great. So that is why you're listening to the Peige podcast.
Yeah. So to actually go about turning your passion into profit, how do we actually make some money? That question is where you are going wrong in the first place. If your main goal of getting into this creative space is to make money, then you're going to fail. You need to be getting into it because, firstly, it is main reason is that you enjoy doing it. And then if you enjoy doing it, you're probably pretty good at it already, or you have an interest in getting good at it. And then obviously you're going to need to make some money if you want to make a living doing this, obviously. But if the reason that you're getting into it is because of the money, then I would rethink why you're actually doing it and if it is worth it. But how do we make money? So we've kind of touched on this in previous episodes, but it's not going to happen overnight.
Absolutely not.
And it might sound a little bit cliche, but it's going to take a ton of hard work and time and studying and perfecting the craft, and like Braden said, striving to become the best in whatever creative field or whatever niche you are in. And if you are chasing that goal of becoming the best and just becoming a better version of yourself in this creative industry, it might not be the answer that you want to hear, but the money will come eventually if you just keep chasing, becoming better, improving your skill, perfecting your craft, and trying to be the best person that does that creative field and just bettering yourself every single day.
I also think, so on the client side of this, you get your first opportunity. You get your chance to work with somebody. The most powerful form of fucking marketing is word of mouth marketing. Is if I go tell someone that Chad crushed it for me, this guy went over the top, Chad is going to get more clients that way. So when you finally get that door open, you need to be prepared to over deliver. You need to be, if they've gotten videos done, it takes them a week to get it, you get it the next day. you are the fucking guy.
Yeah.
You are the guy or gal that is going to get them the content the quickest, and you're going to also make it the best. And when they have a revision, you're going to do it with a smile on your face, and you're going to get it back to them because it is their finished product in the end. And by over-delivering to them, you are going to continue to get clients knocking at your door. And if you continue to over-deliver for those clients, it becomes exponential growth. You need one. That is all you need is one. Break it down to getting one client, and I promise you the rest will follow. And by doing good work for this one person and say, hey, if there's anyone else you know, tell them to call me. Birds of a feather flock together. Find the one client, and it will all open doors. I promise you. And if you work really hard and you're good at one thing and decent at a few other things, I promise you, you will continue cruising along this path.
That is exactly how I built my freelance client base. When I first started out, it was all word of mouth. And touching on what Braden mentioned, this is almost, if not more important than perfecting your video skills, is being personable and being just a genuinely nice person. And when you are working with these clients, when you're communicating with them on shoot day, communicating in a professional manner, when you are sending them deliverables and doing what you say you're going to do. If you say you're going to get them a video by this deadline, then have it to them by this deadline. Don't be late. Don't show up to a shoot late. Act professional, and then be personable and just a genuinely good person to these clients. Because if you're around them, especially if you're around them on shoot day and they feel that you're a good person and they feel that you come off with good energy and they like being around you, then they're going to hire you over the next person who might actually be better at video.
Could be way better.
Could be way better at video, but they could be just a shitty person and just not fun to be around. So it's obviously important to have good skills at the same time, but make sure that you are just being a genuinely nice person with the clients and acting in a professional manner, because that's just as important as perfecting your skills.
Now, I briefly touched on it, but on the topic of people giving you revisions, we had a great question come through this week for the Peige Podcast. I think we should definitely talk about it. So when you send off a masterpiece, it's a great edit, and I want to stick with my style, right? They're hiring us because we create content a certain way, and it looks and feels a certain way. But this client might come back to me with 27 revisions.
Yeah.
Chad Nutter, how do you go about discussing this?
So, first of all, you need to have your revisions outlined in a contract or agreed upon with the client beforehand when you are originally negotiating this project. You need to have how many revisions you're going to include, and if it exceeds that amount, how are you going to be charging for the extra rounds of revisions? Because we have made that mistake in the past, and it can come back to bite you in the ass when you don't include how many rounds of revisions the client gets, and then that just turns into unlimited amounts of revisions. And then firstly, to kind of touch on that, some people, or you might get to some point where you can select clients that you want to work with, and then you can turn down clients that you know might not fit your style, and then only work with clients that give you that creative freedom to use your style and aren't going to question something that might jeopardize your style. But at the same time, when you are first starting out and you're really just working with majority of the clients, or any client that you can get, really, you may run into some situations where you are asked to kind of jeopardize or change up your personal style to fit the client's vision or needs. And it can be somewhat of a tricky situation, But I would say as long as you are not morally, or I don't even know how to word this, if it's not against your morals and it's just some small thing that maybe it changes from something that you would be proud of and post on your Instagram to something that, okay, fine, like I'm okay with doing this, but I'm just not going to post it on my Instagram because it doesn't really fit my style. But I'm happy with like handing it over to the client, and it can be done that way.
I also think too, just giving them recommendations, right, guys? At the end of the day, as a video producer, as a content creator, as an advertiser, you are in the service industry. I don't know if you've ever thought about it like this, but you are 100% in the service industry because you're an artist, right? At the end of the day, you're an artist, whatever, graphic design, photo, video, but you are giving someone your art, but it is for them.
Yeah.
If Nordstrom's comes to me and says, I want you to create a campaign, I want you to give full creative control, this is a little bit different. But if I go and I'm making someone for a small business when I was starting out and they wanted this changed a certain way, I'd happily change it. Even though deep down I'm like, you know what, they're wrong. But at the end of the day, it's not for me. It's for them.
So I go to the barbershop and I'm going to get a haircut. And I tell the barber that I want this certain haircut. And he's like, okay, whatever, I think I can pull it off. And then he does it. He does like his style. And then he shows me, I'm like, oh, can you just like cut a little bit more off there on the sides? And he's like, and he to himself, he thinks it's probably not gonna look the best. But so in his situation, he can either say, he can tell me that, oh, actually, honestly, I really don't think that's going to look the best. And then I can say, okay, I appreciate that response. And I can either say, actually, I trust you, let's not do that. Or I can say, that's still like what I want to do. And I don't really care if you think it's not going to look the best. I'm stuck on that. And you'll run into different clients who will appreciate your honesty and will actually be like, okay, thanks for being honest. You are the expert. Maybe that isn't the best thing to include in the video or the project. And then you'll run into some clients who are dead set on including these revisions that they want. And sometimes you will just have to go with that. But at the same time, like I mentioned earlier, as you get further and further along in your career, you will have more of the opportunity to turn down some clients and only work with the clients that give you that creative freedom to put together something that matches your personal style.
I love it, Chad. I was told a lot in college, specifically when I was like, oh, I'm going to make videos for a living. That's what I'm going to do. People be like, oh, you should be more realistic.
So when you suggested, we were brainstorming topics for this podcast, and we were just like saying random things, and you just said be more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to like just go off. Like I almost just like walked out of the room and just said, just like, let's just say screw the podcast today. Like that's just an awful phrase. Just like hearing those 3 words, be more realistic, it just makes me
mad.
so angry.
Were you told this growing up? What triggered you so bad?
I mean,
I was told this a lot in college, specifically, especially by like professors and by people that were getting like regular jobs that sounded really shitty.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really had it told to me personal, like one-on-one personally, but to like in like classes or like to like large groups, and I think just society says it as a whole.
Totally.
To be more realistic, and it just makes me angry.
I'll tell you this, listeners of the Peige Podcast, if you want to be like everybody else, yeah, go for it. Go be realistic because you'll fit right in. But if you want to do something that you love for the rest of your life, you might have to take a path that not everyone is specifically on. and that road might be a little bit lonely, but you have to go back down for a sec, realize your goals and what they are, and set them up into small and long-term goals, and then slowly chip away at those goals. That is in quotes, you being realistic. Fuck what everyone else is thinking and what everyone else is doing. You still need a plan, though, a slight plan, like a little small plan to be able to chip away at and be able to check off and say, okay, you know what? I'm on my path to that goal. I'm going for it. This is what's happening. If I check this off, if I can get a client a month and I'm making $2,000 a month, I know for a fact that I can turn that one client into 3. And I know that I'll get $6,000 this month, and I will be fully functional and capable of living on my own and paying all my bills and paying for my car. And I'll love what I do because I'll have 3 clients. You know what I'm saying? That is, in my opinion, in quotes, being realistic, and that's what it should be. But to everyone else, being realistic is being safe and saying, no, let's just have you go get that normal job that everybody else is doing. Like Roger. Oh my God, that's a good one. When people are like, dude, you should just do this like he's doing. Like,
yeah, no.
Oh my God.
Yeah, fuck the whole safe route thing, because it's 2020 and we have quickly realized that there is no safe option.
Yeah.
Because the amount of people,
tell it to millions of people that are unemployed
who
right
have
now.
lost their jobs, who thought that they were graduated college and they got this job because it was the safe route and they would always have this job and they were going to be getting benefits and retirement and just live this happy life. And now they are fired, laid off, furloughed. Maybe they got some unemployment, but a lot of people aren't. And yeah, so now we've quickly realized that there really is no safe route. So if there is no safe route, why the fuck would you not do something that you actually enjoy doing?
Dude, and you know what's even crazier is people are afraid to fail. And I get it. On the other side of that is a little bit of fear. There's a little bit of fear there. But the best things are on the other side of that fear.
Don't let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game.
No, because if
Babe Ruth quote.
I love it. If you fail, you fail forward. Great, that didn't work. It's a mindset thing. It all boils down to mindset. If you fail forward. You make an adjustment. You try again. You fail, you try again. You fail, you try again. Eventually, if you keep going, one of your ideas, one of your concepts is going to hit. Especially if you're confining in people that you trust and they are helping you and they're helping you along this path. I promise you, if you keep going and you keep chugging forward, there's going to be something on the other side of that eventually.
Yeah, to touch on that failure thing, the more you fail, the better, and the quicker you fail, the better.
I love it.
The more you're learning, you should be learning something from each failure. And the quicker that you fail and try new things and fail, the more you're going to learn in a quicker period of time. And eventually, all those failures will turn into that one success. And that one success could be the one thing that changes your life.
The way I look at it, too, is you're going... Say we miss a client, a huge client. This has happened. Say the client, it's hypothetical, $30,000, miss it. We're that much closer, though, to getting a client that's $30,000. You know what I'm saying? Every time you swing and you miss, cool. There's might be one more in the way before we lock this in. That is the way you need to look at it. Not, oh, boo-hoo, poor me. I'm sad. I got denied. No. You're that much closer to getting that yes. That is the way you have to look at failure.
Yeah, this is with anything really negative
literally
that
with anything
happens in life, but a lot of people look at life as happening to them, and they, like, for example, there's people that got fired from their jobs this year. They're looking at them being fired as life happening to them, and they'll be like, oh, poor me, and feel sorry for themselves. But instead of looking at it as, oh, this is happening to me, turn it around and look at it as, this is happening for me, and there's a reason this is happening. I might not realize it in this moment, but for example, maybe someone that's getting fired, they have now had the 6 months of quarantine that they've been fired, maybe they went and started their own creative business, and now they are way happier than they would have been if they were stuck at that job forever. But that only happens if you turn that mindset around from that shitty situation happening to them, and then it's happening for them. And that's just how you should look at anything that really happens in life.
I love it, Chad Nutter. Appreciate your wisdom on this fine Thursday evening. But I think that is where we should probably wrap up this episode of the Peige Podcast. And I really do appreciate everyone's story reshares, and we just want to say thank you to the entire Peige Pod community.
Yeah, let's wrap it up like Chipotle.
Here we go. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Peige Podcast. Make sure to drop us a review, share a story, and DM us on IG if you have any questions. We'll see you all on Monday. Peace out.